Hello, welcome to St. Luke's. It's good to be with you all. And here in Advent, I'm going to take a little time today to read, as you're watching, just some pictures of the Nativity, some paintings through history of the Nativity. I'm going to share part of one of Luther's sermons of the Nativity. And so just going to share the words that he shared through this time and hope that they touch you as well. When now they were come to Bethlehem, Lutheran says, the evangelist says that they were of all the lowest and most despised and must make way for everyone until they were shoved to a stable to make a common lodging and a table with the cattle, while many cutthroats lounged like lords in the inn. Mary and Joseph did not recognize what God was doing in the stable. With all their eating and drinking and finery, God left them empty, and this comfort and treasury was hidden from them. Oh, what a dark night it was in Bethlehem that this light should not have been seen. Thus shows God that he has no regard for what the world is and has and does, and the world shows that it does not know or consider what God is and has and does. Joseph did his best, and it may well be that he asked some maid to fetch him water or something else, but we don't read anything that any help came. They heard that the young wife was lying in a cow stall, and no one gave her heed. Shame on you, wretched Bethlehem! The inn ought to have been burned with brimstone, for even though Mary had been a beggar maid or unwed, anybody at such a time should have been glad to give her a hand. There are many of you in this congregation who think to yourselves, oh, if only I had been here, how quick I would have been to help the baby. I would have washed his nappies. How happy I would have been to go with the shepherds and see the Lord lying in the manger. Yes, you would. You say that because you know how great Christ is. But if you had been there at that time, you would have done no better than the people of Bethlehem. Childish and silly thoughts are these. Why don't you do it now? You have Christ in your neighbor. You ought to serve him. For what you do to your neighbor, in need you do for the Lord Christ himself. He goes on later to say, let us meditate then on the Holy Nativity as if it were happening to our own babies. I would not have you contemplate the deity of Christ, the majesty of Christ, but rather his flesh. Look upon the baby Jesus. Divinity may terrify man. Inexpressible majesty will crush him. That is why Christ took on our humanity, save for sin, that he should not terrify us, but rather love and favor. He should console and confirm. Behold the Christ lying in the lap of his young mother. What can be sweeter than the babe? What more lovely than the mother? What fairer than her youth? What more gracious than her? Look at the child, knowing nothing, and yet all that belongs to him, that your conscience should not fear, but take comfort in him. Doubt nothing. Watch him springing on the lap of the maiden. Laugh with him. Look upon the Lord of peace, and your spirit will be at peace. See how God invites you in many ways. He places before you a babe with whom you may take refuge. You cannot fear him, for nothing is more appealing to man than a baby. Are you frightened? Then come to him, lying in the lap of the fairest and sweetest maid. You will see how great is the divine goodness, which seeks above all else that you should not despair. Trust him, trust him. Here is the child in whom is salvation. To me, there is no greater consolation given to mankind than this, that Christ has become man, a child, a babe, playing on the laps of his most gracious mother. Who is there whom this sight could not comfort? Now is overcome the power of sin, death, hell, conscience, and guilt. If you come to judge this gurgling babe and believe that he is come not to judge you, but to save you. Amen. So the words of Luther and a reminder that we are at once, we know the story of the babe, and yet would probably be similar to those who were in Bethlehem, that we might not do anything, and yet still the babe Jesus comes to us and for us to be salvation, and that through this unknowing and unwitting babe, all the power of hell is crushed underneath him. And so we are given life. And so go in peace today. Amen.